Hi, everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to be working on your energetic blueprint and creative energy. So, what that means is we're going to work with the eighth chakra, which has to do with your energetic blueprint. And you want to think about that as having to do with your patterns. These patterns could be related to karmic issues that you came in to resolve and other issues that you came in to resolve. So, we're going to talk more about that when we get there. But essentially, we're going to be tapping into that blueprint and the potential for shifting that blueprint. And we're going to combine that with tapping into the energy of the second chakra and your creative potential. And when I say creative potential, I want you to think of that as your potential to create or manifest what it is you want in your life on all levels. And that can be manifesting change for yourself, right? That blueprint can shift. So I'm kind of excited about this. I think this is a pretty cool topic, and I'll talk more about that when we get there. So welcome to Energy Balancing. I'm Paige Apgar. I'm an energy medicine practitioner. I've been working in my practice for 10 years and studying energy since 2005. I work here in Tallahassee, Florida in person, and I also do sessions online. You can find out more about me at soulslightenergyhealing.com. And that link is in the description below. There are also links to a couple other platforms where you'll find my work and a link to join my email list where you will receive a free self-testing video. If you don't know about self-testing, that's something you definitely want to know about. That's the link that connects you to the world of energy. Especially if this is all new to you, it's how you're able to start learning to work with your own system, to test yourself on vitamins, supplements, foods, all kinds of things, stones, oils, etc., colors. So it's really such a huge resource to you. So definitely check that out if you are interested. And of course, if you're watching this, please post comments, questions, whether you're here live or after the fact, and I will get back to you. And I do appreciate all of the engagement and all of the views. So thank you all. And that's it for announcements. So we'll go ahead and jump in to our daily energy routine, the Eden Method daily routine. So we're going to start on the cheekbones. Hi, Lulu and Luigi. Lulu's watching with her dog, Luigi. She says they both benefit. You know, it's a fascinating thing when you're doing energy work and you have pets in the room, you'll notice that they react to the work in a good way, usually, unless you are letting off a lot of agitation, and they might pick up some of that and they might then move away from you. So that's something to pay attention to. Okay, so we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice deep breaths. Your feet are nicely planted on the floor. We're going to start bringing focus to our grounding. We're tapping the end of stomach meridian here. This is the beginning point. Getting the energy in the stomach meridian moving straight down the front of the body. Hi, Liz. And Liz says her cat loves this. Yep. It's funny, sometimes, you know, if you do sessions at home, the pets, particularly cats, will climb up on the table with you. Okay, so awareness to your feet and the connection of your feet to the floor, bringing us more fully present. And we coordinate this with the breath. So let's come down now to the K27s. This is, if you're not familiar with it, it's the inner edge of your collarbone, and you're just tapping right underneath it. It's the end of the kidney meridian line. Good solid taps. You want to move the energy. It's not light. And we're going to start sending the energy down, out the bottoms of the feet on the exhale. Go about 15 feet into the earth with that. And then we're going to bring energy back up through the bottoms of the feet on the inhale. You may find it easier to close your eyes while you do this. Following the breath. And notice what you feel as you do this. You will probably feel a shift of coming more fully present into the moment, greater awareness of yourself in the space. That's what we're looking for here. We want to relax the rest of the body. Okay, now let's come to the center of the sternum for the thymus gland. We're tapping here. A little softness to your knees is also good. And we can turn the attention to the little toe, send the energy out the little toe. We're going to ground the yang cycle, grounding the bladder line. Bladder is where we hold a lot of fear. So send the energy from the little toe down into the earth. Just visualize a stream of energy coming out that toe. If you've never done this before, that's okay. You don't need to have any kind of practice with this in order for it to work for you. Just trust that it will work. You don't have to be able to feel anything in particular. But you might notice a little settling in your system. You might notice that you yawn or sigh, or that your body softens and relaxes. Those are all good signs. Okay, now we're going to come to under the breasts. You're directly under the breasts. This is for the spleen or lymphatic, and you're tapping here. And let's bring the attention now to the tailbone. We're still sending energy out on the exhale, pulling back up through the bottoms of the feet on the inhale. And as you pull that energy up through the bottoms of your feet, you can direct it somewhere in your body. If you feel like there's a part of your body that needs some additional support, go ahead and do that. But you don't need to do that. You can just allow it to go wherever it needs to go. Hi, Rhonda. Okay, now we're going to bring the hands to the spleen 21 point. So you are one hand width under your armpit. That's directly on the side of the body, the end of the spleen line, and we're tapping here, getting movement going in the spleen line. So now we've created some good grounding. I'm just going to have you kind of focus on the whole of that grounding in that effect. And focus on being fully present. So if you notice that you start to get caught up in thoughts, whatever's going on in your life, your to-do list, whatever it may be, just bring yourself back to your breath and to your body awareness. That's an important part of this practice. Now, I say that's an important part of the practice we do here. It's not necessary, you don't have to approach any energy work in that way. You can go through these things really quickly. That's also an option. You're still going to benefit if you go through quickly, but I think that you get more out of it when you can really bring awareness. I think that it intensifies the effect. And I've had that feedback from quite a few people who watch these classes, that going more slowly and with intention has been a big shift for them. Okay, so just letting the energy settle here, getting some really good movement going in the spleen line. All right, now we're going to inhale up from that spleen 21 point. We're going to exhale down the sides of the breasts, in front of the hips, inside the knee, in front of the ankle and off the big toe. And we're going to inhale and pull back up that same line. We'll come up 3 times. That's 1, 2. And as you come up, you're inhaling up, exhaling off spleen 21. 3. Okay, that's good. For our crossover today, we're going to do a few things. We'll do just a little mix of things. I'm actually going to have you start with the eyes. Now, I was doing this for myself the other night because I've been spending a lot of time on the computer with some things I've been working on, hours and hours staring at the screen. So it's not something I usually do, so I really could feel a difference just in the intensity here. We take in a lot of that charge. I can go right into the 6th chakra. Sometimes you have to do a little work to clear it there. Something else that can be helpful, though, is 8s around the eyes. So you're going to take, I like to use my middle finger. You can just start at the bridge of your nose and just go one direction or the other. And move very slowly, drawing 8s around your eyes. So this is a nice big horizontal figure 8. Let's see what you notice. This is also great for your eyes in general and moving stuck energy that can build up around your eyes. And sometimes I've found that this particular drawing 8s around the eyes piece as a crossover exercise is exactly what one person needs in order to assist in the crossover patterning in their whole system. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's cross patterning at the neck, the throat. So these are a couple of places to focus on. If you know that you're someone who has a stubborn homolateral pattern, you want to mix it up when you do your crossovers. And this is one that you can do when you're mixing it up. Okay, that's good. Now, on that note, we're going to go to the throat and we'll do cross patterns there. So you'll grab behind your neck and we're just going to pull across. You can work with the breath. So inhale, grab, exhale, pull. Same concept here. Creating a good cross pattern. Removing stuck energy. We get a lot of stuck energy around the neck. This is particularly good also if you're working on your neck. So if you're working on loosening up muscles and getting lots of massage or chiropractic work, you want to do this as well because you want to then move out the energy that's getting released. You don't want it to just go right back in. If you've got strong patterns there of holding, then it's possible that it can just pull right back to where it was. So you want to keep clearing that area. And you're bringing in more flexibility. Remember, the crossover patterning in our systems is one of the things, one of the key pieces in getting unstuck from patterns. So think of patterns as places where the energy really isn't moving, right? You're stuck in a holding pattern versus having good flow. And good flow comes from good crossing. And that's starting to feel really good. Okay, now we're going to bring this down the whole body. So you're going to start at the shoulder and take a deep breath in. And you're going to exhale and pull to the opposite hip and then all the way down and off of that foot. We'll do 3 on each side. Switch to the other side. And here's our last one. So that helps to bring the cross pattern into the body, and it also helps to move that energy down that we're trying to move out of the head and neck. Okay, let's grab our seats now for the Wayne Cook. And I'm starting with my left foot on my right knee. Right hand is on the ankle. Left hand is grabbing the bottom of the foot. You're always covering the K1 point on the bottom of your foot. Now, if this doesn't work for you because of joints, then, so if you're doing that, stay there. If you can't do that, cross your left foot over your right, crossed at the ankles. Hands come in front of you back to back. Left hand goes up, palms come together, fingers interlace and turn it in. When it's time to switch sides, you'll put the other hand on top, other foot on top, and do the same thing. All right. So I like to tune into the breath here. It's an excellent opportunity to bring in some mindful awareness. Becoming aware of the weight of your body in your chair. Aware of your foot connecting to the floor. Aware of your hand connecting to the other foot. Always breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Pulling up on the inhale. So that's, imagine there's a cord pulling straight up through the center of your body. Pulling up. And exhaling and relaxing down. Just relaxing into this one. This is a great exercise for calming states of emotional overwhelm. And that can mean all kinds of things. That can mean you're really sad. That can mean you're really upset. That can mean you're in a panic. It can mean all kinds of things. I mean, it could be you're really fearful. It brings organization to the chaos, both in the system, but also in our emotions. And this one is just so nice to sink into and let yourself rest here. When you approach these exercises from a perspective of resting in them, your energy moves really quickly. You don't want any stiff holds. You don't want to worry about posture. Okay, let's switch sides. That foot comes down, the other foot comes up. Now the left hand is on the ankle and the right hand grabs the bottom of the foot. We get a nice stretch here. And breathe and relax into it. You're doing so much good work for your body right now. I just want you to remember that. So you can feel good about that. Again, bringing awareness to yourself in this moment, following the breath. You might take a minute to tune in to the energy in the room around you or the energy of the day. This is a way of learning to tune into the subtleties. I'm sure you notice that the energy shifts throughout the day and from one day to another. So see what you feel around you right now. And what kind of space have you created for yourself? Does it have a nice balance? Does it feel good to sit in this space? Or does it feel charged or busy or a little chaotic? Or is there heaviness hanging around from old emotions? If your space doesn't feel good, I recommend you get some Palo Santo or some sage. Clear the room a bit, open the windows, let in fresh air. Okay, let's bring that foot down. Fingertips come together, the thumbs come to the brow. We'll take 2 deep breaths here. And the fingers come to the center of the forehead. Push in and pull apart, stretching open the forehead and down the sides of the face. Let your hands rest in your lap and see what you notice. And let's come back up to the hairline. We're going to push in on the inhale. On the exhale, pull an inch to either side. We'll move across the top of the head. And down the back of the head. And down the back of the neck to either side of the spine. No pressure right on the spine. You can rake across those muscles and now squeeze the muscles at the shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and drag to the front. Okay, we should be feeling good now, nice and balanced and centered and focused. Let's move into our neurolymphatics. I'm going to go ahead and stand up. And I think that today we'll start on the deltoids for kidney. Now, if you don't have a chart of the neurolymphatics, you can find those online. There is a chart in the Energy Medicine book, if you have that. So you can choose the ones you want to work on every day. You can do both sides at once. I prefer one side and then the other just because I think it's a little bit easier logistically. So if you've been going through a lot in your life, we've had a lot of turbulence lately. I've talked about that in the last few videos. And sometimes some people have had a lot of emotions come up and stirred up in various different ways. Let's come to the juncture of the arm and the torso here. You're going to dig into the joint. This is for central meridian all along this line here. If that feels like you can relate to that. It can be a good idea to clear out your kidney meridian. So you can do that by flushing it with tracing. You can trace it backward 1 time and forward 3 times. And you'll need to look at a chart to see where that is exactly. You can also hold points. So some of you have been working with energy medicine and you're ready for this. Holding points is very easy to do. Again, the description of how to do that is in the Energy Medicine book. It's really easy. You're just going to hold the sedating points and then the control points. That's to release the energy from kidney. I definitely recommend you start by releasing. If you have had a lot of turbulence, you don't want to jump right into strengthening because what can happen with the kidney meridian is it holds on to a lot of that emotion. So the residual stuff, even if it feels like you got through it and it's over, a lot of that can still be holding a kidney. What that will do, how that might show up for you, is it can slow you down. You can feel a little sluggish. Kidneys are get up and go energy. So if you don't really feel like you've got much get up and go in you, that can be because your kidney is holding a lot of stuff. It tends to get overburdened. These are what we would consider toxins. So if you think about the kidneys, the physical kidneys, they're filtering toxins, right? The kidney meridian filters toxic emotions out, but it can kind of hold them. So you want to release that. So let's come under the collarbone now. I'll start at this, we'll do one side and then the other. I'll start at the center and work my way out. So we're getting stomach meridian, and then we'll get governing. So, you know, and if you do try that, holding the points, and don't be, you know, afraid to do that. You're not going to hurt yourself by sedating your kidney. It is always good to test first, and that's where self-testing comes in. So some of you took my self-testing class back in January. That class is still available to you, and I'm creating a new, shorter, maybe more manageable video on self-testing that will be available. So if you join my email list, you'll receive that. And I'd love to hear your feedback on that, because I'm really trying to figure out how to create something that teaches you that not just the technique, but how to use it with success. Because I know sometimes it can be frustrating when you're first getting started. So I'm trying to give as much support with that as I can. So I would love to hear your feedback. And if you've watched the video before and tried it, please do let me know how it's going for you. Very curious about that, because it's such a key piece to really, it brings everything together. When you can start testing yourself and know if your kidney meridian needs to be flushed, and know if something else needs a little bit of work because you tested it, and it's easy to do. It's just a practice. It's a skill that you learn, and you learn it by practicing. Hi, Elena. Okay, let's see. Let's go down to the navel. Let's go an inch to either side of the navel and dig in there for bladder. Bladder has to do with fear, big fear responses that can come up in us. You know, fears about what's happening around us. And I think there could be a good bit of that right now. We've got a lot of shifting and changing of our foundation. It can bring up some big fears. It's interesting. It's making me think about the conversation I had with my friend Yost about a month ago. He's an astrologer, and we are going to do that again. Sorry, we had thought we were going to do it at the end of last month and didn't work out, or at the end of this month. We're still in June. But what I was going to say is, one of our participants commented that she felt like she was standing in shifting sands. And that is what it feels like right now. Our foundation is shifting, and it's kind of shifting unexpectedly and going in different directions. And it's like the sand moving under your feet. Now let's come up an inch. And some of you may have other metaphors for that, but we are all feeling it. Let's come up one more. This is the last one we'll do. I like to do these three together. So we were just on the adrenals. That was for triple warmer. Now we're on a kidney point. The kidney point associated with the adrenals. And that one is feeling really good to me right now. And I've been running on high for a while now, just going, trying to get a lot of stuff done. And so I can feel by doing this that my kidneys have needed a boost. My adrenals are probably a little drained. So keep that in mind. This is a resource for you. If you feel like you've been going, this helps balance the adrenal points. so they aren't overtaxed. It gives them, helps to restore them. Okay, now we're going to find the navel, travel to the back side. So you're opposite your navel on either side of the spine, not right on the spine, and you're going to rub here. I'm using my knuckles just because it's a little bit easier for me right now. Doesn't matter what you use. You can use your fingertips also. And I'm going to work my way down to the sacrum and rub across the sacrum a little bit. So again, if you're doing chiropractic adjustments and you're working on this area, this is a great thing to do to help clear the area. I just did some work yesterday. I got a great Thai massage, and I can feel that there are some stuff stuck here that needed to release. So that feels really good. Okay, now I'm going to grab the energy from the Mingmen area and pull it around the waist to the opposite side of the body and pull it all the way down and off of that foot, and do the same thing on the other side. And we'll do 2 on each side. This is the belt flow. All right, and now let's do the zip up. So come to your pubic bone. You're going to pull your hands straight up the center of the body. Stretch up overhead and exhale down to the sides. We'll do that 2 more times. Nice stretch there. All the way up and exhale down. And I'll take your 2 middle fingers. One's in the navel. The other one is here at your brow. Push in and pull up with both. This is the hookup. And let's hold this. Sink into it a bit. Feel yourself present. Notice how your body feels. This concludes our Eden Method daily routine sequence. Remember, this is telling your body to stay here, to hold the patterns that you're putting in place with your daily routine. Okay, that should be feeling really good. We'll release that. Now we're going to move into our additional sequence. This is on the energetic blueprint and creative potential. Hey, Donna. So one thing I want to say before we get started is about the 8th chakra, which sits just above your head here. I don't want to get too specific about exactly where that is, and you don't need to worry about that. What we're doing is using intention also to tune into the 8th chakra. And I know some of you are going to say, but isn't that in the field of the 7th chakra? Let's not go there. We'll just say we're tuning into the 8th chakra and trust that. So the 8th chakra it's almost like a portal between the chakras, the 1st through 7th, that are more closely associated with the functioning of the physical body. And think about your presence in what we would call traditionally the 3D realm, but now we might call it the 5D realm. But that's where we switch into the higher chakras that are more about our spiritual experience and what we're connecting to individually in a spiritual way, and what we're connecting to on more of a universal consciousness level. So that goes up and up as we raise in chakra level, but the 8th is the portal there. So the 8th chakra is bringing in the information, some of the information from your soul level of karmic issues, could be ancestral issues, it can be evolutionary pieces, evolutionary learning pieces. All of these things can influence your energetic makeup in terms of why you may experience a physical issue that you have, or emotional issue that you have, spiritual issue that you have, can be related to the karmic or ancestral or soul level learning piece. So today we're going to be working on shifting. Now I want to say, a lot of you know I'm also a channel. A lot of the channelings that have been coming through, I'm going to say since the beginning of 2020, but lately it's been a little more intense in the letting go of the past and your way of seeing yourself, your way of seeing the world, and knowing that we are in a space where we can really recreate our realities. We can recreate the world around us. We can manifest more easily these things that we want to create. This is really important. So today, we're bringing a little bit of that in by working with the 8th chakra and the 2nd chakra. The 2nd chakra is your creative potential. And think of it as creative potential within the 3D reality, right? This is a 2nd chakra. It's a foundational piece. So just wanted to say that to get us off to a good start here. So we're going to begin by holding the hand. I'm using my left hand at the 8th chakra. I'm going to step back a bit so that you can see this well. I'm about 6 inches above my head. I'm not moving it. So we're not doing an opening or a closing. We're not trying to clear anything. We're just connecting. I just want you to think about your 8th chakra as you do this, connecting to that part of yourself. Use your intention here and open up to the blueprints that you may have chosen for yourself for this lifetime. Open up to creating change there. Okay, so we're thinking about creating a nice strong connection here. All right, now we're going to move this hand down to the heart center. The heart center is where our soul expression comes through, our soul's desires. Our heart pulls us towards things in life. It pulls us towards the experiences that we need to have, the people we need to meet, the places we need to go in order to create what we came to create, learn what we came to learn, resolve what we came to resolve. So just think about that. Creating connection. And settle in here. Remember, there's no stiffness, maybe a little softness to your knees, fully present. Fully present with your heart energy. Feel into that. Let that heart energy open up. Let it flow. You'd be surprised how often we hold back on allowing our heart energy to flow. That can be a self-protective pattern, but remember, it's also going to restrict you because your heart energy needs to reach out. It needs to reach out to those things that you had the intention of experiencing. When you hold back in a protective way, you also cut yourself off from those things. Think about living life from your heart's desires. Think about manifesting from your heart. There's a wisdom to the heart. There's a consciousness to the heart. We want to bring this energy into everything that we create. Okay, now we're going to take what we're already connecting with and we're going to bring it into the yang cycle. The yang energy is where we create outwardly. It's an external expression of energy. So we're going to pull this into the yang regulator flow. So I'm going to have you bring your hands up to your temples. You're going to inhale, come up behind the ears. Exhale down the outsides of your arms. Bring your hands to your upper back. Inhale. Exhale, pull straight down the backs of the legs and off of the little toe. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to bring it into the Yin Bridge Flow. The Yin Bridge Flow is where we're bridging between different levels of the self. You're going to come back to the power point right here at the back of your head. This is the base of the skull, top of the spine, indentation. You're going to inhale, pull up over your head, come down to your heart center. And now we're going to inhale up, exhale down to the navel, making a heart. We'll do that 2 more times. So just across the chest here. Hands can be right on your body. Now you're going to bring your hands right under your breast. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale straight down the front of the legs, off of the foot. Slip your hands under the arch of the feet and pull up for 2 breaths. Okay, good. Now we're connecting to the second chakra. You're going to bring both palms under your navel. This is the lower part of your abdomen. So your second chakra sits a few finger widths below your navel. You're just going to put both palms there, facing down, pointing down, and hold. So you're thinking about connecting to your creative center here. Remember, this is the birthplace of creation, whether you're a man or a woman. Obviously, with women, this is, we often think of the womb, but men also have a creative center. So it's the same thing. So you want to think about that. Creative potential, bringing something into manifestation, bringing something into physical reality, into physical form. This also connects to the deepest part of ourselves. This is the inner child. This is your essence. So I think about that also. Now, this isn't an energy of doing. This is an energy of ideas, of whimsy, of a childlike energy. The energy of doing is in the third chakra, so we'll get there. So this is the energy of being at the drawing board, the beginning stages, looking at all these different colors and ideas and what excites you. This is the center of your passion, the second chakra. What are you passionate about? What lights you up? A lot of times people will say they don't know what their passions are. I remember working with someone in a coaching environment where she said, I don't really have any passions. And she said it sounded very flat, when she was talking about it. And And I said, okay, well, just tell me something, that you like. What do you enjoy? And she lit up and started talking about these plants that she had in her kitchen. It was this little set of herbs and how much fun she was having taking care of these plants and growing the plants. And she just changed completely. And that is the energy of passion coming up. So she was passionate about her plants. We can have passion about anything. Passion is the energy that lights you up. It's when you can talk about something on and on and on for hours, like me in these classes. So you guys are going to see my passion right now. And when someone is talking about their passion, it's engaging, right? It pulls you in. And when you talk about your passion, you bring that energy up. You bring it up in your system. You're bringing up that second chakra energy. So think about also how often you allow that to come up in your life. How much space are you making for that? Would you like to make more space for that? Okay. Now we're going to take this energy and we're going to circulate it a little bit. So we're going to come up from the pelvis, or from the pelvis. You're going to come up, inhaling up, out over the hips and down the outside of the legs. Again, we're connecting to the yang, where we're sending it down. And we're just going to do it again. Up from the pelvis, over the hips, and down the outside of the legs and off the foot. One more time. That second chakra energy is a very yin energy. It's an inwardly focused energy. So we're bringing that into the yang energy and sending it down into the earth, right? Grounding in that. Now we're going to put the left palm on the second chakra and the right palm on the third chakra. So here's where we're connecting second chakra energy to third chakra energy. This is the last thing that we're going to do. So I want you to just kind of sink in here. We'll be here for a couple minutes. Make a nice strong connection. Bringing that second chakra creative energy up to the third chakra where it gets expressed outwardly. And feeling your feet connected to the floor. Feeling your breath. Feeling your presence. And what do you want to create in your life? What do you want to change in your blueprint? Think about that. Bring it up to the third chakra. Use visualization. Visualization is a very, very strong technique. See yourself doing, being, feeling, experiencing what it is you want to create. Feel it filling your field. Feel every cell vibrate with this vision and this feeling and experience. So we'll just hold here for another minute while you do that. Okay, that will do it for today. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed that. Please let me know in your comments how that went for you. And please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Next week, I'll be back with another set of exercises, and we'll see what next week brings. And until then, have a great week. And thanks everybody who joined me live. Take care, everyone.